What's happening in Ukraine is an absolute disaster, and watching the ominous pictures of columns of military vehicles heading towards Kiev is deeply chilling. And Ireland obviously should do everything it can to help the people of Ukraine, everything in economic terms, financial terms and diplomatic terms, to deploy pressure on Russia. And I welcome a lot of what the government has done, and I don't want this to be fractious unnecessarily, but there is some critique in the government's approach. The Ukrainian Ambassador has asked Ireland to isolate Russia, and that means sending home Russia's diplomatic mission to this state. And the Irish government is refusing to do that, which is a big mistake. And I've never seen a government actually refuse to do what so many of their own TDs are asking them to do at the moment. I think it's unprecedented to see that happen. And I think it's strange as well that the Irish government is lauding itself on one hand in being ahead of the rest of the European Union with regard to stopping flights from Russia flying over Ireland's airspace, and yet saying that it can't move until the rest of Europe does when it comes to sending the Russian ambassador home. It's like Ireland is refusing to exert its own sovereignty to support Ukrainian sovereignty. It doesn't make sense, Minister. And also, what's the Irish government going to do if a Russian plane flies over Irish airspace at the moment? 2 Russian planes flew over Irish airspace in 2012, and we were powerless to do anything about it. Are you going to scramble the government jet to see can it be stopped? I asked the question earlier of the Taoiseach, and I think this is an important question, and he refused to answer it. It's a question around the alleged Russian mission in Ireland and the levels of spies that exist within it. Is this the case, Minister? I want you to maybe answer when you sum up towards the end. It's also alleged that they pose a significant threat to this state. Is that the case in your estimation, Minister? And the Taoiseach basically stated, when he was asked this question, he said he was a realist when it comes to spies. So that's an admission that they exist in this country and that they're doing damage to our interests. That alone should be good reason for this country to send the Russian embassy staff home. Minister, Russian companies also have sanctions against them, and some of those Russian companies are linked to firms that are operating in the IFSC. Firms in Ireland have been raising billions of euros. They've been lending that money to Russian banks, and those Russian banks have been lending that money to firms that have sanctions against them. We can't turn a blind eye to that if we want those sanctions to stick in their impact. What will you do as a government to make sure that we cannot allow this country to allow for bypassing of sanctions? Also, Ireland has not nearly exhausted humanitarian aid to the Ukraine. We've only touched the tip of the iceberg of what's necessary in terms of humanitarian aid. Yet I find it strange that Fine Gael TDs are demanding that Ireland pursues lethal force. This would do damage to Ireland's potential in the future to be seen as a strong, honest broker that can reach out to different factions and look for a peaceful resolution. We have a name internationally as an honest broker, as a peaceful, honest broker. We shouldn't be doing damage to that by getting involved in the delivery of lethal force. I'll leave it at that. Gur míle mágad.